Some NBA players have had moments, on and off the court, that made fans question everything. From awkward locker room encounters to groundbreaking public announcements, and from swirling rumors to full-blown controversies, basketball's biggest names have found themselves caught in situations that went way beyond the game. While some of these stories revealed raw courage and authenticity, others spiraled into messy speculation and scandal. The NBA has always been about more than basketball, and these moments prove how personal identity, public perception, and celebrity can collide in ways no one expects. Dwight Howard's story might be the most infamous of them all. For years, Howard's larger-than-life personality and playful antics made him both a fan favorite and a target for rumors. One unforgettable moment in 2015, when he grabbed a teammate's crotch on live television, seemed to confirm for many fans what they had long suspected, that something about Dwight's behavior wasn't just playful. It was a sign of something more. By 2019, Howard grew frustrated enough to address it directly, loudly proclaiming, "Hell no, I'm not gay." But that denial didn't stop the speculation, and in fact, it set the stage for a storm that would erupt years later. In 2023, Dwight Howard's name became attached to one of the biggest scandals in recent NBA memory when Stephen Harper filed a lawsuit accusing him of assault, battery, and false imprisonment. The claims were shocking, the details disturbing, and when leaked text messages between Howard and Harper spread online, the story exploded into mainstream media. Fans and analysts dissected every message, searching for proof, and the controversy dominated headlines for months. Howard's legal team fought back, arguing the encounter was consensual and accusing Harper of both deleting key evidence and attempting extortion. The lawsuit dragged on until August 2024, when it was finally dismissed with prejudice, meaning Harper couldn't refile and Howard didn't pay a settlement. Legally, Dwight walked away clear, but in the public eye, the damage had already been done. The rumors didn't disappear, and in later interviews, Howard admitted the ordeal left him so drained he felt like never leaving his house again. It was a rare admission of vulnerability from a player once known for his confidence and charisma. For many fans, Howard's story became the perfect example of how quickly personal scandals can overshadow a career, and how, in the age of social media, reputations are built and destroyed overnight. While Howard's experience was defined by controversy, John Amaechi's story was defined by courage. In 2007, the former NBA player released his memoir, Man in the Middle, and with it came a revelation that shook the sports world. Amaechi publicly came out as gay, becoming the first former NBA player to ever do so. His announcement came at a time when LGBTQ acceptance in sports was far less common than it is today. For years, Amaechi had played for teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, Orlando Magic, and Utah Jazz, while quietly navigating a league culture that often reinforced traditional masculinity and silence around sexuality. When his truth came out, the reactions were telling. Shaquille O'Neal said he would have defended Amaechi if teammates ridiculed him, while Dwayne Wade stressed that what mattered was a player's performance, not his personal life. Amaechi later estimated that 85% of the reactions were overwhelmingly positive, while about 15% were negative or uncomfortable. That kind of acceptance in 2007 was groundbreaking, and Amaechi's courage opened doors for conversations that had long been avoided. His story wasn't about scandal or rumor, it was about authenticity, and his decision remains a landmark moment in the NBA's history. 6 years later, Jason Collins would take that courage even further. In April 2013, Collins published a first-person essay in Sports Illustrated announcing, "I'm a 34-year-old NBA center. I'm black, and I'm gay." With those words, Collins became the first active player in any of the 4 major North American sports leagues to publicly come out. Unlike Amaechi, Collins was still competing at the highest level, which made his decision even riskier. The response was immediate and historic. President Barack Obama praised Collins for his bravery, calling it a milestone moment in the fight for equality. Bill Clinton offered support, and Kobe Bryant tweeted words of encouragement, urging him not to let ignorance silence his truth. Collins' announcement turned him into a national figure overnight, but it also revealed how divided the conversation still was. ESPN analyst Chris Broussard sparked outrage by calling homosexuality a sin, exposing the cultural tension that still lingered in professional sports. Despite the backlash, Collins pushed forward, and in 2014 he signed with the Brooklyn Nets, officially becoming the first openly gay player to take the floor in an NBA game. Looking back a decade later, Collins admitted progress had been made, but also pointed out a sobering truth. He was still the only NBA player to ever publicly come out. His announcement may have been groundbreaking, but the fact that no active players followed in his footsteps showed just how much work remained to be done. If Collins' announcement was historic, Isaac Humphries' moment was heartbreaking and raw. In November 2022, Humphries, who had briefly played for the Atlanta Hawks before continuing his career in Australia, gathered his Melbourne United teammates for a meeting. With cameras rolling, he revealed a secret he had carried for years. Humphries admitted that he had struggled deeply with his sexuality, falling into dark and lonely places, and at one point, even attempting to end his own life. Fighting back tears, he told his teammates that he was gay, and the reaction was unforgettable. His teammates immediately applauded, some embracing him, others breaking into smiles of pride and support. The video went viral, resonating with fans around the world who saw in Humphries not just a basketball player, but a human being freeing himself from years of pain. Humphries later explained that his mission was to prove you could be big ice on the court and still be openly gay, a message that inspired athletes everywhere. His story stood in stark contrast to Howard's controversies, showing how the same subject, sexuality in the NBA, could be met with scandal or with profound empathy, depending on the circumstances. Not all stories were as uplifting. Dillon Brooks found himself at the center of a rumor storm, not because of anything he said, but because of who he dated. Brooks's relationship with Canadian model Big Bambina drew attention when internet speculation spread, claiming she was transgender. The rumors snowballed, forcing Bambina to share her birth certificate online to prove otherwise. Eventually, the relentless gossip drove her to delete her entire social media presence. Brooks's ex-girlfriend added fuel to the fire by claiming he had started seeing Bambina while still in a relationship with her, giving the rumor mill even more material. None of it directly tied to Brooks's own sexuality, but the narrative spiraled anyway. It was a reminder of how misinformation spreads online and how quickly personal relationships become the subject of public debate when an athlete is involved. For Brooks, the story wasn't about truth, it was about perception, and perception often becomes reality in the world of social media. Kevin Durant's name also found its way into speculation, but for different reasons. A 2021 fan poll showed that 77% of people thought Durant might be gay, though most admitted they didn't care either way. The speculation was fueled not by who Durant dated, but by the contradictions in his behavior. In the late 2000s, Durant's old tweets included homophobic language, targeting friends like Russell Westbrook with slurs. Years later, in 2022, he reignited controversy by engaging in a heated social media feud with actor Michael Rapaport, where he used homophobic and misogynistic insults. Durant later apologized, but for many, the damage was done. And yet, Durant also publicly supported LGBTQ causes. He marched in a pride parade in 2017 and openly supported Jason Collins when he came out in 2013. This duality, using slurs one moment and showing public support the next, left fans questioning whether Durant's allyship was genuine or performative. Recently, rumors connected Durant to WNBA star Dwight Howard, which some argued countered speculation about his sexuality. Still, the contradictions lingered, and for a player of Durant's stature, every action and every word continued to be dissected. For Dwayne Wade, speculation came not from scandal, but from his advocacy. Wade's daughter Zaya came out as transgender in 2020, and Wade has been a vocal, unwavering supporter of her ever since. From participating in Pride events to launching the Translatable Project in 2024, an online resource for trans youth and their families, Wade's commitment has been extraordinary. He even moved his family out of Florida due to anti-LGBTQ legislation, explaining that his family wouldn't feel safe or accepted there. But in an ironic twist, Wade's very support for his daughter sparked rumors about his own sexuality. Some pointed to his fashion choices, like painting his nails. As supposed proof, others dug up unverified childhood claims, including stories of Wade wearing his sister's clothes. None of these had any credibility, especially given Wade's long marriage to actress Gabrielle Union and the family they built together. But it showed how quickly advocacy could be weaponized in a culture where support for LGBTQ rights is sometimes twisted into suspicion. Ben Simmons' case was stranger still. His sexuality was questioned, not because of who he dated publicly, but because of his close friendships. Simmons' best friend, Taj Malone, and Sixers photographer Alex Subers were often by his side. And in 2019, when Simmons accused an Australian casino of racial profiling after being denied entry while Subers, who is white, was let in, the incident brought his circle into the spotlight. Online gossip forums exploded with speculation, with threads questioning why Simmons surrounded himself so closely with these men. Some suggested his celebrity girlfriends, like Kendall Jenner, were just for show, while others dismissed the rumors entirely. Over time, without Simmons ever addressing the speculation, the chatter faded. His high-profile relationships with women and his focus on basketball helped push the rumors aside, making his case a reminder that sometimes silence really is the best strategy when it comes to gossip. The last case might be the most unexpected. In 2003, Tracy McGrady sat down with Stuff magazine and casually estimated that 5% of NBA players were gay, even claiming to have witnessed incidents himself. In the early 2000s, when conversations about sexuality in professional sports were far less common, McGrady's comments were explosive. They sparked endless speculation, not just about the league, but about McGrady himself. Gossip forums lit up with supposed sightings of McGrady with gay men, fueling rumors that have never fully gone away. McGrady himself never addressed them, and the mainstream media largely ignored the whispers. But his case is telling. Sometimes, simply speaking openly about taboo topics can turn the spotlight back on the speaker, whether it's fair or not. Taken together, these 9 stories reveal 2 very different realities in the NBA. On one hand, there are players like John Amachi, Jason Collins, and Isaac Humphries, whose courage to speak their truth changed the game forever and inspired countless others. On the other, there are players like Dwight Howard, Dillon Brooks, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and even Tracy McGrady, who found themselves caught in scandals, contradictions, or rumors that shaped how fans viewed them, regardless of the facts. The NBA is a league defined by incredible talent and legendary moments. But behind the dunks and championships, there's another narrative, one about identity, acceptance, and the thin line between admiration and speculation. In today's world, being yourself can inspire millions, but it can also spark rumors that last forever.